Welcome to episode 70 of the Talking Friars podcast. Ben Fadden here with Jacob Zimmermann. It's been a while, Jacob. How's it going?
Going good. Padres are making some moves, and I like seeing some of them at least.
Some of them, yeah. We're going to get into that. I had my reaction episode about Bob Melvin being hired. Absolute surprising move by the Padres when that happened. You see the tweet from AJ Cassavell, and it's like, holy cow, what? He's with the A's. That's the same Bob Melvin that's managing the A's right now. How is that even a possibility? So we'll get into that a little bit more. We have news on Skip Schumaker. We have news on roster moves regarding Mark Melancon, Craig Stammen, Pierce Johnson, Jurickson Profar, Keone Kela. And then we're going to talk about a little bit about the main free agents and the remainder of the team and if they're staying intact or not. So a lot to do. The general manager meetings start next week. So that's where in Carlsbad, by the way, that's kind of where the big, offseason kind of gets underway a little bit, with general managers face-to-face, or maybe it's not face-to-face and it's just text or Zoom and they just sit in their suites. But it's still exciting that it's, getting going. I did want to mention as well before we get going, we have the awards coming up November 15th through the 18th, I believe. The BBWAA, Fernando Tatis Jr. is kind of the big guy, that we're all anxiously waiting for to see if he brings home the first MVP since 1996 when Ken Caminiti won it for the Padres. Still hard to believe that Tony never won one.
Exactly.
But so exciting stuff. Congrats to the Braves, by the way, former Padre Max Fried. That kind of sucks seeing that happen when he should be in a Padre uniform, but I guess we can get by that. That Justin Upton deal worked out amazing for us. Not. All right, so let's get in. So first, Bob Melvin, again, hired as the Padre manager, 3-year deal. Totally surprising. I just kind of wanted to get your reaction on that. The press conference I liked. I wrote on gaslampball.com. It was totally different from Jace Tingler's because Jace, he was talking about how I've never had big league managing experience, but I manage games in my mind. And that totally sucked to hear because it was like, yeah, that's funny. We've all managed games in our mind from our couch. That means nothing. And we saw that means nothing in 2021 when he decided to forget how to manage, or when he had that Dodger game and he had 3 hitters in the 5 spot behind Manny and Jake Cronenworth, like that, because that was a great decision. So that obviously didn't work, the managing games in your mind thing. And in contrast, Bob Melvin was, he's different. He has a bunch of managing experience, a decade with the A's as of late, recently before coming here. And the Padres have made the playoffs, 6 times in their franchise's history. And Bob Melvin made the playoffs 6 times, I think, with the A's. 7 times with the A's alone. That's not even counting him winning a World Series as a coach with the Diamondbacks in 2001. So it's a lot better in terms of, managing experience and what we wanted. He checks all the boxes, and he was not even a guy that we were bringing up in these conversations.
I mean, yeah, it was out of nowhere. It was out of left field. I mean, AJ Preller made that move. It was like last year you thought when we were getting pitchers and stuff like Darvish and Snell, you thought, okay, we'll get one and then we'll be good. And then AJ goes and gets another one. He's always pulling stuff out of his bag. A lot of people I think were starting to kind of write off on him after the Tingler kind of thing went down. But then he goes and gets Bob Melvin, and I was excited. I was shocked for one. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was, kind of like a Bob Nightingale tweet where it was false or something like that. But no, it was real. And press conference went really well. He seemed way more professional, way more prepared, way more excited than Tingler was. I just think that it's overall great hire, 100%.
Yeah, and we talk about Melvin being prepared more than Tingler or whatnot. I mean, his preparation was the decade that he's had with the A's this last managing time around. Tingler didn't have that. It's great to manage in the Dominican and be able to speak Spanish, but Melvin, I mean, he has the characteristics that, we were all wanted. Managing experience. We wanted guys that can
managing
relate.
success too, like
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
experience. Yeah, he wants good
Guys that can manage, locker rooms, being a player manager. And I think what makes it a win-win, I guess, we can say about Melvin is, he really wants to win a World Series here because, this is probably his last stop. He even said that in the press conference.
Yeah.
But what makes it a win-win is it is a former manager with winning experience, and he was just managing last year. So he is in this front office analytical age. He's not Buck Showalter who didn't deal with it totally,
Yeah.
in it. He's coming from a total analytical front office with Billy Beane and David Forrest and the A's. And that's the same thing that the Padres are, it seems like. So the transition from the A's to the Padres, dealing with the front offices, I don't see that being a huge issue. Like I've kind of seen some questions, about how that transition will happen. So that's another win. And I think it's one of those things where it's like when AJ hired Tingler, people, you can ask my friends at school, I was really pissed off at that hire. I was not fun to be around. It's like you had Ron Washington on your doorstep and you decided to go with your buddy that no one's ever heard of. We had to look up his Wikipedia page. And this time around, Preller, and credit to Preller, you can definitely put on, I can definitely wear my In Preller We Trust shirt proudly now, I guess, that he did, he made this decision. He got out of his ego and said, you know what, we need this guy. We need an experienced winning manager. And to be honest, he went with his game plan. He went with the history that we've seen Preller do with moves and stuff. Not maybe coaching, but in terms of player acquisitions, he thinks outside the box, or just moves that we're not thinking that could happen. Adam Frazier, I know that didn't work out, but we weren't thinking about Adam Frazier. Darvish, we weren't thinking about that. Blake Snell, there were rumblings that he could be available, but really Blake Snell, we didn't think we were going to trade Luis Patino for that. Joe Musgrove, that wasn't no one was thinking about that.
That was the best one in my opinion.
Yeah, as of now, yeah. And so just thinking outside the box, he continued that trend. The Tingler move was outside the box, way too far outside the box. This one was outside the box, but a good outside the box. I was referencing Tingler, and we were looking up Tingler on Wikipedia because we didn't know who the heck he was. Maybe he didn't even have a Wikipedia page, to be quite honest. I don't even remember.
Someone started it.
Yeah. And this time you're looking up Bob Melvin's Wikipedia page to see how many dang playoff appearances he's been to. That's the difference. That's a big
difference. Yeah. I mean, I was just super. I still couldn't believe it. Like, it took me a while to process. I was talking to my dad. He was like, "Bob Melvin? Like, where did that come from?" And then I thought about it kind of, and I was like, okay, the A's, they're kind of in that spot where it's like, do they like sell everything, or you just stay kind of mediocre? Because they make the playoffs, it seems, every year, but nothing really happens out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they are going to just start to sell everything there. They're probably going to move to Vegas soon because no one goes to the games in Oakland.
I hope not.
I think Melvin just kind of wanted to get out of there. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that if he wants to come to San Diego. That's fine with
me. Talking about, from an A's point of view, I mean, dang, if I was an A's fan, I mean, that sucks. They're an easy team to root for, because of the low payroll, because no one goes to games or whatever, and they're an underdog always. And to be honest, they have Houston in their division, so it's easy to hate Houston and then just like Oakland. But in terms of, that's a gut punch. Like, I understand why they let Melvin go, and props to the A's, Billy Beane and all them, for saying, yeah, we're probably going to be rebuilding here, cutting payroll. You're making $4 million for us this year. We're probably not going to win a World Series anytime soon. So just go. I know that you're ending your career. Go and go for this opportunity and go win.
Compete.
Go try to win. Because to be honest, like you mentioned it, the A's teams that made the playoffs, they were playoff teams. They had a good lineup, but the pitching was never there, and the pitching on paper is there here. That's the difference for Bob Melvin. I think he's excited about that. Not to mention that he has Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. and Trent Grisham. So
Eric Hosmer.
Stop. That was Jace Tingler's thing, right? Like, oh, I have Eric Hosmer and Fernando and Manny. No, you don't have. You have Hosmer, who stinks and is probably gonna. Man, I know this is a different tangent, but for the Padres to be able to make any significant moves, Myers or Hosmer's contract needs to go, because they only have like $4 million in space under the 210 luxury tax. And so they have to leave or cut the payroll or something, because they don't have room. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, this Bob Melvin move out of the park, but a gut punch for A's fans, and then for the A's to not even get any compensation. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
it was crazy too, because they just announced, I think on their Twitter, like the day before, they were like, Bob is back. Like we picked up his option or something like that. That was the beginning of the season.
That was in the middle of the season, of the 2021 season, that they picked up the option. And
then I was like, oh.
Yeah, at that time they were in playoff contention and all that, so you can make that case, and then it kind of went down the wrong way, like our season did. But I think that it sucks for A's fans, because they didn't even get compensation back. They didn't get anything. Dude, we could have given them Skip Schumacher or something and be the manager. And it looks like maybe they get Ron Washington. Who knows? But I think Ron Washington wanted to go inherit like a winner. So I don't even know if that happens, to be quite honest. So, but talking about Skip Schumacher, that's some news today. Skip, he was a first base coach under Andy Green, associate manager under Jace Tingler. And I didn't expect him to return with Bob Melvin, but the story's out. He reportedly is finalizing an agreement to be a bench coach for the St. Louis Cardinals under now manager Oliver Marmol, I think is his name. He was Schilt's bench coach. So it's sad to see Schumacher go. He was liked here. He seemed like a really smart guy. You can listen to my interview with him that I had in the middle of the season last year, when they were in Atlanta, I believe. Really smart guy, former player, obviously, and now going back to the team that he's remembered most playing for. And he's a legend there for winning the World Series, and he won 2, 06 and 11, with the Cardinals. So good for him. I'd expect him to have significant say, with Marmol on the managing in-game moves, kind of like he had with Tingler. And hopefully things work out for him. So, I don't know if you had anything else to say about Skip.
He was good here. I liked him. I liked his energy here. I knew that we probably weren't going to get him back, like you said. And I'm glad that, he went somewhere that he liked, because I know he's as you said, he's a legend in St. Louis over there for the World Series wins, and he's probably going to have a huge say again, because it's a young manager over there. So hopefully, this can lead to a bigger opportunity for him. Love the guy. He was very liked here in San Diego. Just wish him nothing but the best. Wish we could have kept him, but good luck over there.
Yeah, Bob Melvin, his coaching staff, he still has to fill the hitting coach, first base coach, third base coach, bench coach, the pitching coach, Ruben Niebla. Have a piece on that on gaslantball.com. Kind of background. We can all say we like it. We have no idea really who that guy is, though. But I think it's cool that his daughter goes to San Diego State. That was really cool to hear. Fellow Aztec there. I think on paper, you like the move. It's different. Darren Balsley, they had all these years. They had Larry Rothschild, obviously. Obviously, now we know that he wasn't the problem, because injuries kept happening after they fired him.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying that he was, so the solution, but he definitely wasn't the problem.
I don't think it was a problem. No, yeah.
Yeah,
He was a scapegoat.
Yeah, but as for Niebla, Indians pitching coach, a long time in the minor leagues, in the major leagues, and I think that's good because he has the history, the experience of developing minor league players and major league players, not just one or the other. And that system has pumped out some really good arms, and so hopefully that can continue with the Padres with Weathers and Paddock and Gore. Those are the main three that I'm worried about. Morejone's another one. But I mean, you just look at the names: Trevor Bauer, Corey Kluber, Clevenger, who's here, coming back, Shane Bieber, who else? Carrasco, Cal Quantrill lately. He had a breakout season in 2021.
Even Tristan McKenzie.
Yeah, that's another one.
That's pretty good too.
So good history, and so hopefully that can continue. As for Niebla, as for the pitching coach under Bob Melvin, and Bob Melvin said he was okay with that. He was notified about that, and he was open to that happening. But as for the crux of this episode, the roster moves, there was a few. I wrote about them. You can look at that if you want it, word for word. But Jurickson Profar, he's fan favorite. Him and Ha-Seong Kim. Profar, his play isn't really a fan favorite as of late, but he picked up his 2022 player option. He will make $7.3 million about in 2022. I believe he has a mutual option next year. Player option next year. I think a mutual option the year after that, which I wouldn't expect being picked up. But $7.3 million in 2022. Not a surprise that he's coming back. Because the Padres wanted him back. I don't know, because his positional versatility. But he's not a bat. He doesn't have power. His bat kind of lagged behind a little bit last year. I do like when he is in the lineup or he is hitting pinch hit roles. He always has a competitive at bat.
Yeah, I was about to say
kind of to a degree like Ha-Seong Kim, but it usually ends up in a pop-up to the third baseman or something. But I mean, it's competitive, so I guess you're still helping the team, because you're eating, pitches, I guess, from the pitcher. And he could play multiple positions. He played really well at first base defensive wise, much better than Hosmer. He can at least, move around and do the splits and stuff Hosmer obviously can't do. So I guess that's good. But
he's also from the A's too, so
maybe
that's there's
true.
Something there.
I wouldn't count on that, but
no, I wouldn't either.
I think that it's better. I guess it's better than having to go find another utility guy because you're competing with other teams. But I would kind of like the salary to have to go down more. But that's the deal the Padres made with him after the 2020.
60-game season.
Yes.
I mean, it's not bad. I do like Profar. I would rather have. I mean, he was there for that no-hitter game, so there's some good luck there. Maybe this, him picking up that option signifies something with a change at first. I don't know. Maybe Hosmer plays less. Maybe, we think to move Hosmer even more now that Profar is going to come back and, he has that versatility to play first base.
Right.
I kind of doubt it that, it would really change anything else because I think they expected it to happen. But, it's not bad. As you said, he's really good at bats. He's had some really clutch at bats for us to where he, works counts a lot. He's able to make the pitcher pitch a lot of pitches, sees a lot of stuff. That's pretty much all I can say. He hit a couple home runs. There's nothing crazy to say about him, but he's back. I'm okay with that. I'm glad that he's a fan favorite and not someone that people hate, at least. So.
Yeah, two other guys that are going to be back, Craig Stammen, Pierce Johnson. They had their club options picked up recently this week. Not a surprise either. I like that both of them are back. Craig Stammen legged the bullpen in innings pitched. Obviously, don't want that to happen. You can lead the innings in bullpens pitched, but you don't want him pitching that many innings again in 2021.
No.
Pierce Johnson, he had played a good role in the bullpen. He stayed healthy. And that's the main thing, right? Pierce Johnson, Craig Stammen, they both stayed healthy throughout the year and helped, the bullpen stay afloat to a degree. The pitching staff crumbled, in the second half of the season, to say the least. That was more the starting the rotation, to be fair, than the bullpen. But the bullpen, the bullpen was overworked. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, they were great though. They were really great.
They were great in the first half, the second half. The whole team's performance. It was pretty good in the first half, and then it wasn't good in the second half. It was pretty much, if one part of the team's not playing well, the other part wasn't really playing well. So, but Stammen, I didn't look at it. I didn't get a chance to look at the rest of his contract, if this is just one more year. But Stammen, he can be in a Padre uniform until he wants to retire, to be honest. Yeah. Just because he doesn't throw fast, but he stays healthy. He remarkably stays healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like a good clubhouse guy. And you're not expecting him to have these amazing statistics. You're just having him in there to fill innings, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. The main thing you said, he stays healthy. That's like better than the whole bullpen. It feels like everyone in that bullpen, I feel, has gotten hurt for at least a small amount of time. They've gone on the IL for a little bit, and I feel Stammen hasn't done that a lot. He was also pitching, I feel like, every single game, where especially in that second half, especially when he had to come in early. If it wasn't him, it was Nabil Chrismat. But Stammen, I felt, came in the little bit closer games, because I feel he was a little bit more clutch than Chrismat, and he was able to get at least 2 innings, relatively easy. Especially in that first half, I felt that he was like our best guy in the first half out of the bullpen, besides Melanson. And I'm good with him coming back. As for Pierce Johnson, I felt that he was pretty good too, to where we could pick up that club option. I'm not mad at the move. I was expecting it. I'm glad that he pumps gas. I'm glad that he can come back. Hopefully he can stay healthy too. That'd be nice. Hopefully everyone can stay healthy, because I feel like injuries just absolutely kill this team.
Drew Pomerantz.
Now that I don't know how that's gonna go.
That contract's working out amazing.
Yeah, that's another story.
I like Drew Pomerantz, but man, 3 years for that. He just couldn't stay healthy. The forearm was it an elbow also? He just could not stay healthy. He was supposed to be our 8th inning guy. Then you add that to the fact that Pagan forgot how to get people out at the end of the year. It sucked.
He was a home run derby guy right there for a second.
Yeah. It didn't help that Tingler didn't know how to walk out to the mound and take him out either. That's another.
Yeah, that's true.
But so Stammen and Johnson are back. Happy about that. Profar is back. Now to guys that won't be back in terms of contracts, their current contracts that they could have been in right now. And that one of those guys, Keone Kela. Fans that are listening, watching, if you did not even think that Keone Kela was on the team anymore, I wouldn't be surprised. He did sign a contract with us, kind of a redeeming contract, if you will, from Pittsburgh or Texas, I think. He played for Texas and Pittsburgh, I believe.
Yeah.
That didn't work. Another injury contract. I was kind of surprised, to be honest. I wasn't surprised if you're just looking at his play, his pitching. I wasn't surprised that they let him go and didn't pick up the club option, but I was surprised in terms of what we've seen over the course of his career, what he's been able to prove that he can do at points in his career, and in terms of the contract that he did not come back from the Padres' point of view. He would have, since he had the Tommy John surgery in the middle of the month, or in the middle of the year when he got hurt, the Padres would have had the luxury of being able to only pay him $800,000 in 2022. I guess that was a clause in the contract. They decided not to do that. And that's why I was surprised. He had, I think, 3 straight seasons from 2017 to 2019 with an ERA under 4. So he did prove he could pitch at the big league level pretty well. Now I know that's a long time away in relation to spring training 2022, and I guess they probably know more than we do. They probably seen him, they were in tune to his recovery. Maybe it's not going as well as we thought. But I was surprised. I don't know about you that, knowing the contract, knowing that, okay, if it doesn't work, it's $800,000. It's not that huge of a deal. Maybe that is because of the payroll crunch. They have less than $5 million in space to be under the luxury tax right now, according to Spot Track.
Yeah, I didn't know about that contract detail. That at first, before knowing about the contract, I feel like it was a no-brainer not to bring him back. Just because he did sign a pretty expensive deal considering where we're at in terms of the payroll right now. But if it's only $800,000, that's kind of surprising. Obviously he did get hurt pretty early in the year. So yeah, maybe as you said, something might be going wrong with the recovery. Something behind the scenes might be going differently than what we might be expecting. But that's kind of surprising. But then again, it's not just because, we're broke right now. We got to make ends meet somehow or while having that Myers and Hosmer contract weighing down on us. But yeah, maybe they have something else up their sleeve. Maybe Preller's got his eye on someone else where he wants to bring him in. You never really know with Preller because he can, as you said, he can do something way outside the box that we're not even remotely thinking of. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do there. As you said, he was a proven guy. He was proven to where he can pitch at the major league level at a very good pace, under 4 ERA, as you said. But then again, it's the injury of, is he going to get hurt again early? You never know.
Yeah. So that's Kella. He was his option not picked up. He's a free agent. Jake Mariznick is another guy that did not get his club option picked up. It would have been $4 million, and that's a heck no. There is no way in heck that the Padres are going to pay that guy $4 million. My goodness.
I don't know why we went after him.
I still don't understand. While I'm watching MLB Network on trade deadline day, you got 10 minutes to go. You're waiting for the Padres to acquire a starting pitcher, and across the screen, Jake Mariznick is acquired from the Cubs. What are we doing? Like that he did not fit in the roster. When did they get rid of Jorge Mateo? Because that guy would have been better than Jake Mariznick.
I don't know, but we DFA'd him and he did okay in Baltimore, so it would have been better to hold on to Mateo. That was
Jake Mariznick. They needed power. They needed more power. They needed starting pitching. They did not get starting pitching. They did not get power. They got the opposite. They got fielding, and they were good on fielding. They have a Gold Glove center fielder, and they traded for a guy whose primary position is center field. So explain to me how that works. Exactly. We can't. But yeah, there was no way we were going to pay $4 million to a guy who hit 188 with us. He hit no home runs.
And we traded away like our number 7 or 8 prospect.
He had 1 RBI against the A's
my God.
on a day game that no one was watching. So yeah, that's I don't know. I'm like speechless still because I don't know why we traded for him. And then we traded Anderson Espinosa. You can make you can say, yeah, we've kept trying and trying and trying and trying. This guy kept getting hurt and hurt and hurt. So I understand why they
I would rather have that than a guy that we're going to hold on to for half a year and then let go.
And a guy who had no power. And yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we don't need him. There's no spot for him. And, maybe even with Espinosa, there might not be a spot for him, but he's got a little bit of potential. Maybe something crazy happens, where he turns it around, stops getting hurt.
Next year's trade
exactly. We could use him to get someone we actually need, not a guy we don't need to then let go in the offseason. Like what?
Yeah, that was another in Preller we don't trust trades. So yeah, Kella's option not picked up, Mariznick's option not picked up, Stammen Johnson Profar returning, Melanson's player option not picked up. That's another guy, not surprising. Loved Melanson, $3 million. What a bargain that was. All-star closer for us. Best closer in the league last year on my book. Gonna take home that Trevor Hoffman award. I don't know if they even said who's winning that.
No idea. No.
But I mean, if it's a closer, it should be him. But that's not a surprise that his player option, he did not pick it up because there's no way that he was going to make that amount of money. There's no way that amount of money would have been more than what he would be making in free agency after the year that he had. I mean, there's so many teams
He's gonna
that
go get himself a bag.
There's so many teams that'll be dying for a closer. The Dodgers, they have Kenley Jansen off the books now. Maybe they get him. That would suck.
I feel like he's gonna go back to the Braves. I don't know why.
That's what the Braves. Yeah. The Braves were dying for Melanson this year. I know that they won the World Series and they had Tyler Matzik, getting out all those jams. Oh my goodness, he was amazing. But they missed him. You got the Yankees, obviously with their money. I know they're focused on a shortstop, but they have a bunch of money. The Giants, that's another one story. They're probably going to get Correa.
That too, yeah. There's a lot of them out there. You're going to get
even though the Astro going to the Yankees is still weird to me. I don't see that. But, back to Melanson. Not a surprise. He's going to get probably a multi-year deal, to be honest, with some team. I know he wants to win, but with some team, will the Padres offer him? Of course. But I think it's going to be a Trevor Rosenthal situation where they're going to offer a number. If he doesn't want that, okay, bye. That's all right. Yeah. I know that sucks to say because Melanson was better, I think, than Rosenthal was. And Kirby, I could say Kirby Yates for that matter too.
Is he still on the Blue Jays this year?
Yeah,
is he going to be on those?
Yeah, but he was hurt.
Is he going to be on them this upcoming year though?
I think so.
Done? Okay.
I have no interest in signing him after.
I don't either. No, I was just curious.
I mean, I like him, but yeah. But yeah, not a surprise. Wish Melanson the best. Hopefully he can come back, but that's not going to happen. It seems like. But it's one of those.
We'll probably go get another guy. That's and then make him into an all-star.
That's the thing. Like the Padres, the one thing of position of like strength that they've had like in their history, like dating back to Trevor Hoffman and Goose Gossage, like they have had strong closers, strong back in the bullpen, and they just keep doing it. Doesn't matter who the GM is, and so just knock on wood. But I mean, it's like they just keep doing it. You could go down the name: Goose Gossage, Trevor Hoffman,
Houston Street,
Houston
Craig
Street
Kimbrell,
was another one.
Heath
Craig
Bell.
Kimbrell. Heath Bell. I loved him. Kirby Yates, Brad Hand.
Brad Hand.
That trade sucked too, by the way. But he did nothing. But yeah, Brad Hand, Kirby, Melanson, Rosenthal. So yeah, it's worked out pretty well. So hopefully that continues. But not a surprise for Melanson. Now heading to the free agency, you talk about guys that will be free agents from the Padres. The big three, in basketball, the big term, the big three. The big three for the Padres free agents, Tommy Pham, Mark Melanson, and Daniel Hudson. Pham, he's eligible for the qualifying offer, which is essentially a one-year deal where a team offers it, the guy can accept it, and then he's on the team for a one-year deal, and then the free agent at the end of the year, or he can decline it and just be a free agent. The Padres are not going to be offering Pham the qualifying offer because it's not like you can say, here's a one-year, $1 million deal. It's a set number at $18.4 million this year, down from $18.9 last year. But there's no way Pham's not going to make $18 million the rest of his career combined. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'd expect them. I predict that Pham's probably going to come back. Now that probably means that's kind of unfortunate though, because that means that nothing against Pham, but it means that he's the backup to the backup option. There's a lot of slugging outfielders on the market this year. I'm not saying the Bryce Harpers, but I'm saying Michael Conforto, Avisail Garcia, Andrew McCutchen just became available. Kyle Schwarber. There's names that we'll go over in podcasts in the future podcast episodes. But I think that if Pham comes back on a 1-year deal, I think that it'll be because they did miss out on those guys. Because I don't think they'd bring him back unless there's literally no market for him. I don't think they're bringing him back, which could be an option, but it could be the case. But I don't see them bringing him back unless it's a 1-year deal where it's, less than $10 million. Obviously, I don't see Pham accepting a deal that's 1 year, less than $5 million though, because then that's probably you're a bench player, and I don't think he wants that. So I think that they do bring him back because I don't think there's just too many teams for the Padres to hit on all these power hitting outfielders. The DH is probably coming in the new CBA, so I'd expect them to try to get at least 2 power hitting outfielders, right, for left field, and then a bench player. That ideal would be 3, but you kind of want defense in the outfield too, off the bench, I guess. So,
yeah.
I guess it still does depend what they do with Myers. That's another thing too, because then if Bobby Myers, then it's going to be that you want 3 outfielders to get. So,
yeah.
I do think Pham does eventually comes back because I don't think there's going to be a strong market for him, unless he wants to go party in Miami and not win. Maybe that's
he likes
something.
Pacers though. He wants to go to Pacers.
I I know he likes partying, but I think he wants to win too. So maybe he does, do that. So I do think he comes back. Melanson we talked about. I don't think he comes back. Do you think he comes back?
He's going to go get some money, and we're not going to pay him that money that he wants or that he deserves, to be honest.
Yeah, we don't have a bunch of room to pay an all-star closer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And then
we'll get Kimbrel back.
Well, that's $16 million that we're gonna have.
Yeah, that's not happening.
No. Yeah, the White Sox just picked that up so that they can trade him. Daniel Hudson is the other big 3 free agents. I don't see them bringing him back. He was not good post trade deadline. I'd like Mason Thompson back. I don't know about you, but
I'd like Mason Thompson. I had higher expectations for Daniel, and he didn't meet them whatsoever. Yeah. So I doubt he's going to come back. I miss Mason Thompson. We lost that trade. We lost, I think, every single one of our trades.
It's not like I miss trade deadline. I miss him more because the guy is a young player. He's a young player that could turn into something. Add trade value. And they needed starting pitching. And I mean, I said at the time that they needed, one reliever would be cool. And they got the reliever, so I was happy at the time. So I can say, Ben, you were happy at the time. I was, until I found out later that day that Paddock hurt his oblique, and Weathers gave up 8 runs, and he'd give up 25 runs in like a 4-start period, and Snell would get hurt later in the year, and Darvish would continue to have back problems, and the whole rotation would get hurt essentially.
Strove was good though.
Yeah. So I back to Hudson. I don't really see him coming back. I think that you're going to roll with the bullpen that you have.
Yeah.
And they're going to bring new relievers in. I'm curious to see who that'll be. But Hudson, I think a team will pay him, and Melanson, obviously, I think he'll get a multi-year deal. So I think I see them rolling with the bullpen that they have right now, and then a couple new additions on the margins. Or maybe Preller somehow gets, one of those Melanson deals where it's $3 million and, that works. But so we'll see on that. But I'm pretty confident in the bullpen right now. Considering that they're going to have new additions, Adrian Morejone's not going to be in the rotation. Hopefully. So he's going to be a bullpen arm. Matt Strom, hopefully he's another one that could get non-tendered, by the way, with Dinelson Lamet. But I think those 2 should be in the bullpen next year, and just hope that they can stay healthy. And then you roll with Tim Hill, and hopefully he can, bounce back and not have to be used as consistently. Who else? You roll with, Pomerantz, geez, please just stay healthy. because
He's so good when he's healthy. He was so
yeah,
good in that 60-game year. It's just like you just want him to be able to do that, but he gets hurt. He's gotten hurt his whole career. Even when
yeah,
he was a starter here, he just keeps getting hurt. It's so
yeah. So
deflating.
you can't really rely on him, but hopefully he stays healthy. And then you got guys like Chris Matt. I don't know. I guess the ideal scenario right with him is that he bounces up and back from El Paso again, because that does mean that
Yeah.
guys are staying healthy and that they picked up additional relievers. But I liked him. I just don't know if he can do it again, innings wise and stuff like that. Obviously, Stammen, Johnson, those are the guys that you ride with right now, with those additional relievers that they pick up. I don't know about you. Again, so we say Melanson, Hudson, I don't see them just because they don't need them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you'd want Melanson, all-star closer, but with the track record that they had of having closers, I forgot Pagan too. Dang it, we have Pagan next year.
I think he'll bounce back. I hope he will. Because
Yeah,
he was good. He was really good in the beginning of the year, and then he just it got bad.
and the thing was, like, I guess that's why you can have confidence that he will bounce back, because he was telling reporters, I don't know what's going on. I'm not tipping my pitches. My fastball's good. Maybe I'm just. I mean, the location was good. I guess he was facing Mookie Betts, so you're not good
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the bullpen they're riding with. Of the big three, Pham, Lance, and Hudson, I see Pham is the best chance of coming back. I know you agree with
Yeah.
that. And then for the rest of the team, it's pretty much staying intact. Not a whole lot of turnover. You got Nola. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He's another Pomerantz type guy that just can't stay healthy. Talented, but can't stay healthy. I'd expect Caratina to be back, obviously. Ride with those two. We'll see with Camposano if he's in there at some point. And then obviously first base is very much up in the air. Right field's very much up in the air. Left field's very much up in the air. Just because you don't know what free agents they're going to go get.
Yeah.
Hopefully on the power side, but things that are locked in. Manny at third, Tatis at short, Cronenworth at first or second. We'll see how that plays out. Frazier's on the team. That's all I'm going to say about him, because he just wasn't great, when he came over. And it depends if he starts next year, depending on the first baseman.
Yeah.
To be honest, if they don't get a first baseman, they just roll with Cronenworth and be like, let's hope Frazier turns into a hit machine again. Then that's how they're going to roll. I mean, that's not a terrible option, to be quite honest. I know we can talk about that in another episode. If you just dump Hosmer somehow and you don't pick up another first baseman, everyone wants to say Freddie Freeman. He's staying in Atlanta. Please stop with all that.
He's not coming. No.
Yeah.
He just won a World Series. He's going to go run it back.
Exactly. Yeah. You think that he wants to not get you think he wants to get his ring as a visitor, not on opening day in Atlanta? Come on. Anyway. But as for first base, I mean, now that I think about it, Frazier's on a cheap contract for next year. Cronenworth's obviously on a cheap contract still. He's going to get paid, but he's still cheap right now. And so you dump Hosmer's contract. You're saving money to go add pitching or go add a power bat. And you just got to hope that Frazier, hits better. That's pretty much that's not that bad of a situation now that I think about it. But center field is Grish. Obviously you want him to have a better offensive season, but I love him. As
Gold Glover,
swag, Gold Glover. Just everything he brings to the team. And then right field's up in the air. So I don't know about you, but I mean I like where the team is at. I know there's a lot of things to be done, but in terms of the guys that are intact, I still like that. I still like the options.
Yeah, I think that we definitely need to get a starter or something in the pitching staff to where we can have a guy that's a little more reliable and consistent. Just because one is injury, but two is just Weathers was very inconsistent. Snell was a little inconsistent. Well, he was really inconsistent. But towards the end of the year, he was good. Paddock is always inconsistent. It feels like you never know what you're going to get from him. Darvish is getting older. He's got injury problems, it seems, now with that back. But he was our ace, obviously. I feel like Musgrove is the only one that's really, locked. Like he's going to be
I just hope
consistent.
that guy. I just hope he can do it again. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you got to hope that.
Here's the thing: if he can do it again, you're expecting that this rotation is going to be great, like Fangraphs thought it was going into the year last year, because you don't think Darvish is going to get hurt again like that and, have a bad second half. You don't think Snell is going to get hurt again and pitch like he did in the first half. It looked like he found it in that last month of the year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was the Blake Snell we traded one of our top pitching prospects for, and a bunch of other guys. You don't think that Clevenger is going to not be able to stay healthy. I know that's a question mark, but Clevenger, wasn't he able to stay healthy with Cleveland?
Yeah, he was dominant in Cleveland. He was consistent. Yeah. I mean, he just when he got here, he just got hurt right away.
Yeah. So you just hope that that's not going to happen back-to-back years, because then that trade ends up sucking because we gave up Cal Quantrill for that and Josh Naylor, who could be a DH, and a lot of other guys. So you just don't think all those injuries can happen. You're not going to think Adrian Morejon's going to get hurt again. You're not going to think that Ryan Weathers is going to hurt that knee again or that ankle, excuse me. So just you don't think that all of these injuries are going to happen again, and so I think that you just got to be – I don't think we need starting pitching help as much as I feel like I'm reading that people think that we need. Like, I think you should get, at least one big reliever and then focus on offense, because this pitching on paper, I know I keep saying it, it's not played on paper, I get it, but on paper you think it's good. You're confident in that it's going to be good. It's the offense where it's like, all right, we have Tatis, we have Manny, we have Jake, we have Grisham, hopefully he'll bounce back. And then who else? That's 4 of the 9 spots in the order. And I'm saying 9 because we're probably going to have the DH. Yeah. So, and hopefully Nelson Cruz comes, because that would be cool.
You just think, I just keep thinking though, with this DH thing, it's like, if Fran Mill was here,
I know. Yeah.
He would be perfect.
Fran Mill, Renfro's playing like a dang MVP with the Red Sox.
I'd rather have Fran Mill though, just because of that clubhouse presence. That was one of my favorite years, 2019, when he was here. They're singing in the dugout every night, even though we were getting smacked every night. It was fun, and I feel like we need something
and Chris
like that.
Paddock was pitching like Nolan Ryan in the first half of the season.
Yeah, where did that go?
Yeah.
I think just to reiterate what you said, bullpen, get a good reliever, because we're gonna lose Melanson and Daniel Hudson, and then power. We don't, or at least someone that can hit the ball or something. Someone that's consistent, a little bit consistent, because we didn't really have that, it felt.
Yeah. All right. This has been episode 70. Covered a lot. Schumacher, Bob Melvin, Profar, Stammen, Pierce Johnson, Jake Mariznick, bye-bye. Keone Kela, bye-bye. Jake Arrieta, bye-bye. I know he was gone already, but just wanted to say that. You can go play golf elsewhere now and stop faking injuries. Pham, Melanson, and Hudson are free agents. And then the offseason outlook. We'll have a lot more, potential guys we can go after. Love, hypothetical situations like that. Especially when the DH comes, because there's a lot of guys. Schwarber is another one that fit that role.
He's going to cost a lot, though.
Yeah. So a lot to look forward to. Again, they got the manager right, it seems like. Good thing is if they get it, if the season goes haywire, we know it's not because of the manager. So that's going to be a good thing. We can at least blame it on players now, because I know that everyone wants to blame it on the manager, but come on, it's going to be impossible to blame it on Bob Melvin. So this has been episode 70. We're going to have interviews this offseason. Stay tuned for some pretty big interviews that have been promised to me this offseason. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Because, You're going to love having these two. Well, I won't say two because there's going to be more people. But anyway, there's going to be some nice guys coming on. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Let's just keep staying tuned to this Padres offseason. And until next time, let's go Padres.